Alright, hello and welcome back to another Mr. Pisto Plays Magic the Gathering Arena Brawl deck tech gameplay session. We are playing another Golgari Witherbloom deck with Lisette, Dean of the Root, and Valentine, Dean of the Vein. This is a Lisette, Dean of the Root deck. Maybe one day in the future we'll do Valentine, but we're just really going to go over Lisette. It's a interesting Witherbloom life gain, which is not what you see in these colors, but it is what it is. So whenever you gain life, you can pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until the end of turn. She is a 4/4 human druid, and yeah, wanting to play around with incidental life gain and the such. So one of the first things we have here is we have the Cauldron Familiar, Witch's Oven. Those that play a lot of Historic will absolutely know what this combo does. It's a 1 mana 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. You gain 1 life, which triggers a set counters, and then you can sacrifice a food to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Witch's Oven, you sacrifice a creature to gain a food. If its power is 4 or greater, you create 2 food tokens instead. This card is just actually pretty good for sacrificing your own things in response to removal spells to get tokens, food tokens to gain you life. Gilded Goose, it ramps you. It also makes food tokens so that you can return your Cauldron Familiar if it just dies. You can sacrifice those food tokens to add mana. So just a little teeny tiny food package here. Then we have an Altar of the Pantheon package. This taps to add 1 mana of any color and increases your devotion by 1. You have a god, demigod, or legendary enchantment on the battlefield with Timuret and with Nylea Keen-Eyed, you gain a life, which triggers Lisette, which puts a 1/1 counter on it. So Timuret also triggers life gain by exiling creatures from your graveyard. Nylea Keen-Eyed makes it so your creatures cost 1 less, and you can also look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, you can put it into your graveyard. We have a bunch of ways of incidental life gain. Cling to Dust. If you exile a creature from someone's graveyard, you gain 3 life. Otherwise, you draw a card. You can also use your graveyard wisely with this card, which is quite nice with the escape cost. Serrated Scorpion blocks early. Also, you can sacrifice it or in some way, shape, or form get it into combat to help us gain life. So we can trigger Lisette. Shadow Spear gives you things trample and lifelink, and also makes it so that permanents your opponent's control lose hexproof and indestructible till the end of turn. I keep forgetting that. Scavenging Ooze helps us maintain and slow down our opponent's graveyard by exiling cards from the graveyard. You exile a creature this way, put a 1/1 counter on Scavenging Ooze, and you gain a life, which triggers Lisette. Witherbloom Apprentice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So this says basically pay 1 extra mana on top of any instant and sorcery and give everything a 1/1 counter and trample. Witherbloom Command does 4 different things. You get to choose 2 of them. Usually you're milling yourself for the first one and getting a land from your hand, and target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So for 3 mana with Lisette out, you get a 1/1 counter on everything. You can also shrink something to be -3, -1. So you can kill any creature with 1 toughness. And you can destroy a non-land, non-creature permanent with 2 mana value 2 or less, which doesn't happen very often. Hooded Blightfang, when it attacks, any death touch whenever any death touch creature attacks, your opponent loses a life, you gain a life, which triggers Lisette. This one, and where is he? Javille are my 2 death touch creatures in the deck, but this self-enables Lisette, and also if you deal damage to a planeswalker with this card, destroy that planeswalker. Murderous Riders at 3/3 mana 2/3 that has lifelink, so there's our incidental life gain. It also has Swift and destroy target creature or planeswalker and you lose 2 life, so it does dual things. Spore Web Weaver, 3 mana 1/4 reach, hexproof from blue, which is an interesting thing. And whenever it is dealt damage, you gain 1 life and create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. So the good blocker when you have Lisette out, and just incidental life gain. Elder Gargaroth, 5 mana 6/6 vigilance reach trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you get to create a 3/3 beast, gain 3 life, so there's an incidental life gain, or draw a card. Professor Onyx has the Magecraft of whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, so there's an incidental life gain. It's a 6 mana 5 loyalty planeswalker. Her +1 is you lose a life, look at the top 3 cards of your library, 1 in your hand, the rest in the graveyard. So you have some filtering there. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls, so you get to remove their big baddie. And if you can ever get to the -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. So that's pretty brutal. Great Henge is incidental life gain. It taps for 2 mana and you gain 2 life. It costs X less for X is the greatest power among creatures you control, so hopefully we can cast this for 3 or 4 mana. And whenever a token creature enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on it and you draw a card. Erebos' Intervention is a nice life gain plus removal spell. Black and X, target creature gets -X until end of turn and you gain X life. Or you can exile twice X cards from graveyards. So it does removal of creature, removal of graveyards. We have both Callous, Blood Mage, and Sedgemoor Witch. Both create pest tokens, and when they die, you gain a life. There's instant life gain. This one, you can either create a pest, you can draw a card and lose a life, or you can exile target player's graveyard, so there's some more graveyard hate. Sedgemoor Witch is Magecraft is creating a 1/1. It also has Ward 3, so if they wanted to kill it with a targeted spell, they have to pay 3 life, and it has Menace. We have some creatures. We have Sculptor of Winter to help us ramp. We have Cheville, Bane of Monsters, helps us draw cards. Gaining life, that should have been in our life gain thread. So it does multiple different things. Skull Prophet, here again, ramps us. Veto Thorn of the Dusk Rose, whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. It has the activated ability of Black 3 to give all your creatures lifelink. Activating that, you're basically probably winning the game. And then we have Kogla the Titan Ape, is a 6 mana 7/6. When it enters the battlefield, it fights something, and when it attacks, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. You can return a human card to your hand to give Kogla indestructible. Our legendary creature Lisette is a human, so it works there. We have some removals. Bloodchief's Thirst, destroy something small early, anything late. Soul Guide Lantern helps us remove graveyards, also can draw us a card if we need to. Ram Through destroys or makes one of our creatures deal damage to an opponent's creature. Wilt destroys an artifact or enchantment, but also cycles to draw us a card. Arcane Signet taps for a black or a green. Tome of Legends helps us draw cards, and quite often we are going to be attacking with Lisette, so this can draw us multiple cards. Broken Rings destroys target artifact or enchantment, or creature with flying. You've seen me play this lots. Binding of the Old Gods, all 3 things are pretty good. Destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Search your library for a forest card, put it on the battlefield, tap to shuffle your library. Mortality Spear, because we're incidental life gain, this being able to cost 2 less is great, but it is also 4 mana and destroy target non-land permanent. It pretty much blows up anything. Garruk, Cursed Huntsman, 6 mana, 5 loyalty planeswalker. Its 0 is create 2/2 black and green wolf creature tokens, and when they die, put a loyalty counter on each Garruk you control. -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. And -6, you get an emblem with creatures you control have +3/+3 and trample. 7, snow covered swamps. 6, snow covered forests. The Pathway, the Gainland, incidental life gain. The Snarl, the Temple, Campus, Woodland Chasm, the Snow Forest, which hopefully we're catching with our Binding of the Old Gods, Command Tower, Fable Passage, and of Ruin. All right, Lisette, Dean of the Root. Let's go gain some life and sling some spells and blow up some creatures. All right, let's do this. All right, game 1. Opponent goes first. We're playing against Illuna, the card that loves to mutate. It also has a really fun combo, which I'm going to probably try again now that Strixhaven's been out for a while. That's his Oracle. Go away. Alright, so we do have some ramp. We got 2 lands. We are playing 22, which might be a little low. Yeah, there's a land. I think we Fable pass. No, I want to get Witch's Oven going. It'll also help us make us draw. I wouldn't mind drawing lands, so taking one out of our deck might not be of the best thing for us. Yeah, so if they go to destroy this, we can Witch's Oven it. Ooh, ramping. Kinda cool. Man, that's not a land. Think we destroy this? Get the goose out and get some. We have to play this. I think we blow this up. We're gonna get hit for 2. But slowing them down is good. We want and we are Lisetting. Thank you, attacking. I think we this and this. Make it mana. Old span dragon. Beep beep. That's kinda scary. A little late to the party. This. Do I have a counter spell? Trigger. Trigger. Pretty powerful effect. Okay. 1 permanent mana instead of. So now if this doesn't die, we can play this. Build everything up more. And we could go this into this into pump. Huh. Well, if we do this to this trigger goes on the stack, we have to use. Not use attack, okay. What are we ramping into? Thing. I guess we do this. One. Should have done this in combat. Okay. I'd done that in combat. But I had an extra token on every extra counter on everything. Sure. I think we can kind of go off with this plus this. Coma. Alright, can we get through this coma? Binding the old god. 2 mana. 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 finding this. Are you willing to block with your... Have to. Alright, you're at 2. What you got? Okay. Okay. 5 mana. So if I do this, bounce 2 things. I have this plus this for the now. Do something about this. This trigger goes on the stack. I get to... Oh, that trigger goes away. Interesting. Okay. I think I still win with these. Do you have a gate? Can't stop that now. We got the hair, Magecraft. All right, cool. All right, on to game number 2, probably last. I'm trying to do a couple games each set. I think we keep this one for sure. These go white strategies are kind of tough on us. Campus into Signet Scorpion. Into Nylea, into Kogla. Pretty solid. I think we have to. Their sleeves are really cool. Right, they are trying to ramp. They are ramping. Sure they can't use it. That's weird. Snow-covered mountain, but not snow-covered forests. That's scary. Let's just say no to that. They're gonna get to make 5 1/1s, 0/1s. We can do this, auto pay. We will all attack. Don't mind giving up the scorpion. Got a bunch of big dudes. Yet. Right. This is the hard part about decks. That was a good draw. That was a good. We do this. We do this. We do this. This, eat that. 5, 6, 7. One more land. They get to make a bunch more duders. This is the annoying card. Make this indestructible, but if we bounce this, that means this stops becoming a creature. This and that. Auto pay there. Right? All right. I mean, this card is bonkers with this. Sure. That's a land. Blow this up. I think I attack with everything. This might have been a bad attack. Maybe I should have played Polychronos for. I could bounce this to make this. Need to soak up a decent amount of damage here. Blocking. Math is for blockers. And they decided to put it up. Alright, got to see the power of this deck. I absolutely love it. Wide strategy, no problem. Mutate, probably a little more control-y strategy, no problem. Right, hope you like the deck. Wonderful morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are in the world. From Mr. Pisto to you, take care. Bye for now.